So there's a question that comes from Gun. Is that a name? Gun Mulla from Norway. Gun. A question: what about when an awakening is too scary and intense? They're asking like that. What about when an awakening is too scary and intense? So, how do I relate to something that is so scary and unfamiliar with or emptiness and sounds from inside and outside the body? It was not done before, this thing. So the question is, what about when an awakening is too scary and intense? So immediately I want to ask, for whom is it scary and intense? No, first thing, not dismissing the experience. Somebody has written in, genuinely this is the question they want to ask. What happens when an awakening is too scary and intense? How do I relate to something that is so scary and unfamiliar with vacuum and sound, with emptiness and sounds happening from inside and outside the body? How do I relate? See? So these things are likely to happen. Some unusual phenomena might come inside. No? Because we've been living, first of all, like our life is totally explainable. This is how we've been cultured to believe that our life is totally has to make sense, it is explainable, and that things go like this or they don't go like that or so on. So we have been very, very much schooled into being very tight and having some ideas about what life is and what life is not. And we have a lot of ideas but little experience, because no one encourages you to pay attention to your own experience. They encourage you more to pay attention to the interpretation of your experience than to your experience. So we don't know how to think and feel for ourselves. And all our thoughts are second-hand thoughts, meaning that they're not your own thoughts. In fact, no thought is anybody's thought. You're not original. Why? Because you're using language and you didn't create it. So it's all been taught before you. So don't think that you are so original. Somebody gave you the framework from which you can express yourself. Consciousness gave in the form of whatever. So nobody's so original. All your thoughts have been taught before. Okay? And you're never quite sure which are your thoughts and which is the collective thoughts of the collective consciousness of people. So sometimes you might go to a place and you feel that your thinking is like the thinking of that place. After there for a bit you start to think your behavior is like this place. And then you feel, oh yeah, this is now my new thing. When you go to another place, then your behavior changes more like that place again. So which place is your place? Actually what these things show is that you are not so fixed. And there are some people, it doesn't matter what country you take them in, they go to. They're always the same, but as a kind of person, not as presence. So they can be 40 years in a country and they still don't speak the language. They don't know anything. They don't even say thank you or please. They don't know. They're just in the same so this kind of person you can have. But generally the beingness is quite flexible, and if you go into a new place you adapt, you change, and you have different ways. Just like each person you speak with brings another energetic expression from you. Each one is like you're relating energetically, but we're not conscious. Nobody tell you that this is how your beingness is. You think you're relating as thought to thought and head to head, but a lot of other contributors are acting in that meeting. So it's very, very much an energetic and unique encounter. Even if you meet the same person another time, you're energetically different, you see. Why can't we just accept that we're not so fixed, That aspect of ourself which is changeful, let it be changeful. Let it play. But recognize that which is unchanging. And then the changeful will make sense, it will feel right. But if every time you are always changing, then you will come across very weak. If your essential being feels like it's always changing, then where's your substance? You have no substance at all. So this unchanging must be the real unchanging. Don't try to make what is changeful by nature unchanging. That's a wrong idea, because then you are trying to control life, which won't work for you like that. What about when an awakening is too scary and intense? Now, an awakening takes place and suddenly it feels very intense. Intense meaning like you don't know anymore, your rules don't work anymore. Your versions don't work anymore. Another power seems to be present inside. Well, you could just relax and just allow it to express. But why you feel so afraid is that your old conditioning is not working anymore so much. Then something is afraid, oh my God, where is this going to take me? Maybe you start to have these nightmares that you're going to end up begging on the street and nobody's going to want. So then it becomes scary. But in itself, it's not scary. It just is what it is. But the mind is still there going, haha, look what's happened now. You can't even think straight. Like you could think straight before. You could not think straight before. Okay? Then the mind is telling you, and you're so quick to react like this. And if reactions happen and you didn't identify with the reactions, then the reaction's okay. But in the reactions happen, you identify with the reaction. Then you feel, oh, I don't know what is true anymore. And I say, shut up. Thank you. Like this. So you identify a wrong thing. Why should an awakening be so scary and intense? Because your mind cannot understand it. Your mind cannot understand what is happening. And you think you should understand what is happening. Well, the fact is you don't understand anything at all. We just think we understand so much about life. Life is like this. No, it is not. You have your version of life goes like this. Another person's version of life goes like that. Who's got the right version? Nobody. Everything is only an interpretation. It's only a version. If we understand this, we can relax and say, well, in each body, the game feels different. Then this is fine. But behind that is something which is not a game. It is simply the presence, the intuitive self. What about when an awakening is too scary and intense? How do I relate to something that is so scary and unfamiliar? Then I want to ask, who are you? You must identify who are you, because you are identifying with the wrong you. You're still identifying with the old regime of thinking, the old identity, which is reacting, no, I don't like this, I don't like what is happening, I don't understand anything, and so on. And this is just a voice from the past. It's a ghost. It's a ghost voice. And you, the consciousness, are intimidated by your own projection as a ghost. That's all it is, like that. How do I relate? How do I who relate? If I is the consciousness, it's just quiet, it's just still. It watches the movie of duality playing. That is all. It's what it comes more and more. But of course, you are new to this, so to speak, and you don't know what's happening. Because in your world so far, everything is explainable. And now, nothing is explainable. Oh my God, oh my God. Well, oh my God. Oh my God. I can't explain, I don't need to explain. Just experience. Why you have to explain? And your explanations are not facts. They are mostly fiction. So why not stop explaining and just be? And let the experiences be. Watch who is saying and speaking inside. I don't like this. This is not my type of thing. Who is speaking like this? You should find out. Because you're going to find out it is not the truth. It's not truth speaking. It's lies speaking. Lies have been speaking a long time. In our country, sometimes we say, don't watch too much television. Why? Because it says tell lie vision. Okay, it's all lies. It's all someone's little lies telling little stuff and stuff. So don't believe so quick. And many people are just, living a television life. They learn about life from TV, soap opera, actually. So how do I relate to something that is so scary? Well, actually the thing just is, but you are experiencing it as scary. The thing is whatever it is, but it feels scary to you because your mind is reacting to this and you are thinking you are your mind. And one of the great discoveries is to discover the difference between yourself and your mind. Some people think, well, what is the difference? Because it is you who observe the mind. The mind doesn't observe you. Mind is not a person, it's not a thing. It doesn't have a life independent of you. Has anybody seen a mind walking around here somewhere? like looking for somebody to kind of visit? So there's nothing independent, there's not a mind independent of you. You can be without that psychological mind, but the psychological mind cannot exist without you. So you have to judge which is the greater thing and stay put in the greater thing. And that's one. Next one, what do we have? Om.
May I ask something to that?
Yeah, okay.
I personally had also experience of this awakening, and I had to balance it. There were coming so much information and things, and my mind got crazy and so on. But I could transcend it somehow. But my sister, she had the same experience in the same year of living, and she couldn't. It was like, for her, it was like demons are coming and bothering her. It was like she couldn't choose to say no. This
How
is
did this
not
start
me,
for her?
I am
How did she start with this? What happened for her? Why this took place for her? What was it? She was practicing something? What was happening?
No, she didn't practicing a lot.
It's worth finding out.
She never did. She never said it to me. What was the point? She said it came.
No, it doesn't just come.
I'm sure it had something to do with the man she met, and she fall in love with him.
Yes.
But she couldn't follow this love because she was married and had a child, and she didn't want it to destroy this. And this man was representing the world. He was on a ship. He was a matros, so he was like he could go over the whole world. And
this is what you need to tell. When you tell about an experience like this, then I say something a bit fishy about this story, right? You have come in search of truth, and then everything is falling. Oh my God! No, I said no. This smelled something funny, because if genuinely you are in a search, no, genuinely you are searching for this, then the universe is taking care of you somehow. But if you are in a bad relationship and this, and you want to hold on to this, and there's a lot of different psychological things happening, then it is going to come up in your, if you say you're searching for truth, but you're still in a duality, you're still invested in a duality, then these things are likely to come and they're going to behave in a very strange way inside your mind, isn't it? Because
stress and splitting.
Yes, you are invested in duality, looking for freedom. Always can be like this. Is that the mind? It is afraid of change, but it is attracted to life, which is change. The mind is afraid of change, but it is desperate for life, and life is change. So what's going to happen to mind? So this is usually why I ask a bit before, what is behind this? What triggered this awakening? Because she also had the same experience. But you transcended it, but she could not. So I want to see a little background, please. Why is she in this? Oh, she was in this, and she was in a duality, and she was invested in this duality. So she wants to come out but she wants to come out holding both hands, which are tearing her apart. How is it going to happen? You see? And sometimes there are people, they see them and they are crazy on the street. And before that, they were reading the Bible every day and they're reading Quran every day. And they are like, they say, oh, these people, how did God let them go crazy? Why? Because they were invested in their ego. Something start to feel, I'm chosen, I'm special, and so on, and these ones are the ones who are going to hell, and you invest in this, and then you go crazy. Because you're not really working with the truth. That's why I say spirituality, you should not mess about with it. Because people go into all this stuff with all these kind of ideas, these notions, and what they're looking for is just some kind of high, kind of spiritual high. Not necessarily they're searching really for the real truth. In the end, you can say, in the big picture, there is a vague searching for truth. But they have so many agendas, so many different things, that it's too contorted. And then all this contortedness is coming up inside. How else you can be going mad? How can you be searching for truth and go mad? It can never happen. It must be because you are still supporting a duality inside yourself. And life helps you. It gives you many clues. Not just to the wise person. The wise person is the one who took the clues. It's giving a lot of clues to us. It suggests a little thing, either through thought or through feeling, a sensation. If you learn to be quiet and to pay attention, you find that life is giving you little clues. Leave that. Okay, keep quiet here. Give everything. Give everything now. Everything? I give everything now. I'll give something. And then like this. One time I was in Jamaica. This happened to me many years ago. I went back to Jamaica, and then I went up into the Blue Mountains where my mother is from. And it's really, really up in it's really, in the forest, in the mountains there. And I was staying with some friends there, some people there. And one little boy, he came to me and we were playing together. We were near to the river. And he took my one mala I had, and I liked this mala. And he says, can you give it to me? I have another one I can give to you. I want this one. I don't want to give. But something, no, I should just give. What is so important about this mala? It's only some beads. But I like the beads. Okay? So he said, give to me. So I give you another. I give you later. Then after this I went to the river. I was in the river and all the beads fell off in the river. No? Okay? So, I wish I'd give it to the boy. I'm a double time loser. Okay? So sometimes it's not, oh, you must go out and give. Sometimes it's not good to give. I was in India just now. We're coming back. We stopped in one place, and we were told to go to one ashram near to Sri Anandamayi Ma's ashram. We went there, and we were there. And this Babaji, he's giving everything he'll give you, but even things you don't want, he's giving. Right? So why are you giving so much? What's the point of keep giving things that people don't want it? And you're giving. I give you this. I give it. I don't. So you're dumping on me. I don't want it. So it's not good to just be giving. Sometimes you're giving things you're troubling people with your gifts, isn't it? So you give. Don't give. You have to give when somehow the life is guiding you to give now. This one comes, somebody come, and they are begging, oh, give me something, and your heart says, no, I don't give nothing. And the mind says, no, you've been very mean. You've been very mean. But something tells you, no, I don't feel to give this person. I don't know why. The mind says, you're very, very mean. Okay, I give to them, Then you come back later on, they're drinking some beer or something. No, you feel badly or whatever. Another one come when a student says, please can you give me something? And he says, No, you something for you to give, but you say no. You got a suit. You shouldn't be begging. But this person really needed it or something. You don't. How you know from your experience? You don't know. But if you are intuitive, you can have a sense. Okay, you get it wrong. Well, it doesn't matter. You get it wrong. It's not a test. It doesn't matter. We have to make mistakes. Without mistakes, you don't grow. So if you're a perfectionist and you want to be perfectionist on earth, I mean, it's a big trouble. You're going to make mistakes. Okay, learn from them. Okay, okay, good. Then you become wise from this. You say, no, I don't want to make any mistake. Like this. I didn't even start reading this letter yet. I have searched for these two questions on the website and over the last several weeks since being in India. I would be so grateful, in capital letters, to receive these answers. How is Mooji defining divine consciousness? How does one start the inquiry process? Is there an established set of inquiry questions? You can find them. They're online. I am absorbed in Mooji's work and my own these days, and these burning questions will not leave my soul. I'm grateful for your response, Patty Tucker. You see, if you want to find out these things, these days, if you want to find out anything, you go Google, no? You just Google. You want to find out, how old is God? Google will give you an answer. What is emptiness? Google. It is, How does one start the inquiry process? It's online. Is there any established set of inquiry? These things are online. You should not ask me these things now, because all the conversations on YouTube are in fact the living inquiry taking place, actually. So if I've got to now answer this academic question to tell you about the inquiry or something, you Google it. Put self-inquiry, comes up Mooji. Mooji, how do you self-inquire? Go to online. Poor seeker. I am absorbed in Mooji's work and on my own these days, and these burning questions will not leave. Why should that be a burning question? First is an academic one. How can academic question be a burning question? To explain the process of inquiry. Can't get that. And how is Mooji defining divine consciousness? I don't want to define anything. I don't want to define anything, really. If you want a great answer, ask a great question. What is a great question? Something that's really inside your heart. But I don't see how this can be inside your heart. It's inside your mind. This kind of question. I know a question when it's inside your heart. Even if you're not in front of me physically, you feel something. No? Then what to say? How am I defining divine consciousness? If I told you, it will help you to become divine? No. I feel anyone who is, you watch the satsangs, it's always the same subject, served in different ways. It's the same subject. People ask different questions, but you can, if you're smart, you say, but it's okay, I can substitute my bit for that, but the question is the same and the answer is the same. He answered like this, so must be like this. It's like asking me, does breads go to heaven? Well, no. How about biscuits? Please. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Dear beloved, something has taken place in my life which has thrown my universe into complete destruction. People are having these great experiences. I mean, like the universe in complete destruction. These last several months have been filled with immense suffering and also great contemplation. Today I left my life and walked out because the burning was too much. I have been sitting with the question, who is the sufferer, for a while now. I feel like now this disappearance is close and I don't want to lose this opportunity. Please, Mooji, all I ask is for some words to help me to overcome myself. There is a heavy doubt that this place I'll reach is a void or nothingness. Yet also I know this place must be goodness and wholeness. There must be a love to the universe. Help me to find this love within myself and to end this suffering. I love you with all my heart. Sincerely, Javier. If you say you've been sitting with a question, who is the sufferer? This is a tremendously powerful question. Because you're not asking who out there is suffering from what I said. You're asking who is in here is suffering from anything. Who is the actual sufferer? So nobody else is involved in this. It's just you and you. So who is suffering here? The suffering is here, we know. So that's half of it. But who is the sufferer now? The suffering is introducing the sufferer. Can the sufferer be found? The sufferer is a mighty assumption, unquestioned. You see? And all just pick it up, because just like we pick up language, we pick up also what language contains. And no one really questions. Everyone is suffering from, oh, I'm suffering, oh, I'm suffering. Okay, fine. I understand suffering. But please introduce the sufferer. It's me, man. Yeah, okay, you, who is saying you? The body is saying you? The body, I don't see your body suffering. Yeah, but you know, it's me. Well, who is you? Please look, for one time, answer your own question. Don't answer, let somebody else's answer. Answer your own question. Who are you who is suffering? Show me. Then you have to go inside and you have to prove your words. Well, there's a feeling of suffering. Just frustration and tightness and anger. Yes, we understand this, but who is suffering them? Because something is saying, no, man, I'm suffering. Can you see? Please help me. Okay, I want to help you. Show me yourself. So for one time, you must go inside and actually try to locate and find this sufferer. Who has done it? Because this is not going to give you an answer. It's not going to give you a mental answer. It has to break open into a kind of insight, which is something much more profound than an answer. An insight means that somehow everything settles down into a great seeing, an understanding is there. You see? These last several months have been filled with immense suffering, yet also great contemplation. Something is aware of suffering and also aware of contemplation. You see, I tell you why sometimes maybe it's difficult to understand what I'm saying. Because it is so simple. Actually, this is not university. It's universal, but it's not university. Okay, it's not textbook. It is so simple. If you're speaking, I have been filled with immense suffering. Is there something called suffering that come and say, look, I belong to you? No, it's you who feel I am suffering. This thought, I am suffering. Who is the one who is suffering, I'm asking. Then you say, these last several months have been filled with immense suffering, yet also great contemplation. Something is aware when there's suffering. Suffering is around now. Now suffering is gone. Now contemplation is coming in. I am contemplating. Okay, there's awareness of this also, isn't it? This is, I would say, common sense. The greatest scriptures in the world is common sense. Okay. Today I left my life and walked out because the burning was so much. So if the burning itself drives you out, the burning is inside. Okay? The burning is inside. If the burning is inside your house, you come out of your house. But if the burning is inside your body, how are you going to come out of your body? Can you do it? You can leave you can say, let's let the body burn. Huh? Something is not burning. Something is aware of the burning. This is my continuous pointing. But nobody is admitting that I've got a point. They keep going, huh? Yeah. Okay. Today I left my life and walked out because the burning was too much. Okay. So you walked out of your life because the burning. You left your life. Did you leave the burning also? I have been sitting with a question, who is a sufferer, for a while now. I feel like now this disappearance is close and I don't want to lose this opportunity. So the disappearance is close. We sense it's coming close. Disappearance. Right? Disappearance, meaning starts with the hand. Oh, the fingers are gone. Oh my God. Oh, the shoulders is gone. Oh, legs. Oh, come on. Oh, my body is gone. Oh my God. My stomach is gone. Oh my God. Hair is gone. Eyes are gone. Oh, no. Nose is gone. Who witnesses that? No. You won't lose this opportunity of witnessing your own disappearance. In fact, this is something that happened, and I can say that because also it took place here. It actually happened in a kind of instant. I don't know how. Somehow, I was very angry one moment with my own master. I was very angry, but I was also angry because I didn't quite accept him as my master. You understand? I was kind of like, so I was very angry at something. Yeah? Now I watched the video of this meeting with my master. Okay, I watched the video actually, and I saw in the video there's nothing to be angry about actually. He was being very nice.
Years later.
Okay, but for me, okay, so it was not related. Your own anger is independent of what's actually happening, but something is being made up in your mind. It's coming up inside the mind. Then somehow the disappearance, after this something just vanished, and I could not find myself. I have said this many times. I could not find myself. Okay? Now that sounds, in our life, in our world, a very silly thing to say. I could not find myself. Is it two me's? One who was there to say that the other one is not there. Okay? So I could not find myself. Okay? Any reference that I had about who I am could not be found. I could see the body, but it was not the one who I was assuming I was. But something was there to notice that I could not find myself. So what is that? The self you think you are is gone. Something witnesses that the self I used to think I am is gone. You say, I cannot find I disappeared. What witnesses the disappearing of I? And when the I disappeared, that which was left to witness the disappearance of I, that is pure joy. Do you want your I back? No, thank you, please. Anyway, what I was that? It was an old dream. Does anybody want? No one I've known who the I sense, the I me, the personality vanish, has ever wanted it back. But it came back by itself. Like, hello, you remember me? Oh, you? Oh, no. You're back again. Please, Mooji, all I ask is for some words to help me to overcome myself. These are the words. There's a heavy doubt that this place I'll reach is a void or nothingness. There's a doubt, and there's a heavy doubt that this place I'll reach is a void or nothingness. Well, it's not anything that your mind can imagine. It's not anything that your mind can imagine. Yet also I know this place must be goodness and wholeness. There must be a love to the universe. Yes. But you cannot know this with your mind. You cannot know this like, it's going to be explained to your mind. Because you know what? Your mind won't be there. Your mind in that way of using it won't be there. So whatever instructions your mind receive, it won't be there in that day, in that moment. Help me to find this love within myself and to end this suffering. I'm just telling you now how to end this suffering, which releases the love that you are. This is it. You can follow. Thank you. Thank you. Also, when we are in our waking state, we're not used to being empty. In the waking state, we are not accustomed to being empty. We always are in gear, ready for the next experience. We're either in the past, in some memory, or in the future, in some projection, and rarely are you even in present. But even present is also not it. If present belongs to time. We're rarely, sometimes maybe living 30 years, we probably have only ever been truly in the state of not present but presence, meaning unmixed, unassociated, undivided. You may only have been consciously in this state maybe 15-20 minutes, who knows. Always the mind is into some what if, what but, yes, next thing. So of course, in experience, being in satsang, there is an emptiness, an emptying is happening. Because you're not being asked to learn. Don't learn. Because learning is just our habit. It's a fake knowledge. Learning, study. But be open. Feel your being. Don't try to become anything. Don't try to become something or unbecome something. Simply just be present in this. And let listening happen. When you are simply in presence, then you don't even think, I am listening, I am doing. Just listening is happening. Understanding is taking place. somehow it's happening. It's just happening by itself. It's not a doing. And even just this subtle recognition already is so sweet inside your being. You begin to experience a kind of space, a spaciousness, an emptiness. No? And you see this emptiness is more valuable than all your somethingnesses. This space inside you, it is filling you with so much joy. You say, my God, I don't have to be anything. I don't have to be anybody special or unspecial. I just am. Somebody, but what is that? I don't know. You go find out. But how will the country work if all people are like this? The country will not work. The country will be. And work will happen. A civilization has to be discovered, not made. And it has to start in being. We are too obsessed with becoming. And we are never comfortable with our becomings. One becoming after another. Becoming, be going. Becoming, be going. So, get used to this emptiness. In the beginning, because it will feel like a contrasting taste, it might feel that there's a little tension. A little tension is present. It's okay. A little tension. It's not nothing new to you. Maybe the mind says, look, you're feeling a little tension. It's not quite there. You don't need another measurement from your mind. So if there's a tension, let there be a little tension, it's okay. But don't make a story of it. Don't turn it into another thesis. Then some turbulence comes. Have you ever felt turbulence without thought? It's not bad. It's just, what is it? It's just turbulence. And if turbulence comes, and you start to wobble with it as well, you find, hey, it's quite nice, actually. Okay? But if you go, oh my God, I'm falling apart, and so on, then of course your mind creates this as an experience for you. But if you're feeling shaky, sometimes just the feeling's like this. And you just let it just be like this. Sometimes you feel frozen. And if you relax and say, well, this is a frozen moment, and experience it just as frozen, don't try and get unfrozen. Sometimes you might even say, listen, I'd like to be even more frozen. Okay, that is. What's wrong with experiencing everything? This body is built for every kind of experience. You're lying on your bed and you feel something is holding you down. You can't move. Relax, I can't move. Maybe you can't move, and perhaps you don't need to move. It's your day off. It's Sunday. But supposing it's actually a day on, and it's Monday, and you can't move. Let's bring it there. It's Monday. Huh? And you, actually, let's say it's Friday, it's payday. Okay? And you can't move. And it's coming time. Isn't that a really interesting experience? Where is it going to go if I don't take ownership of this experience? Who is doing this? Well, I don't know. Life, nature, something. Why have I got to produce answers? So, listen, I'm off duty. I just am right now. What if we could just give permission to just be? Without any sort of demands on life. As I said, in the same way that you don't go to a restaurant taking your own menu, okay? Can you be in life without carrying your own menu, what you need, what I need, and so on? So for maybe just allow some space for this type of thinking for a moment. It is not all, well, maybe I'll never work again. Some people, they say they're controlling. I said, okay, can you relax? No, if you relax, what will happen? I might kill everybody. Really? Well, no wonder you're so tense. If you feel that by relaxing, you'll just go and murder the whole town. And I met one man, you remember? We were I told you about this thing here, about Kojam. I was on this island, and one man, I was having breakfast one morning in this island, Kojam, in Thailand. And another two men were sitting next to me, and they were having breakfast, and they were having conversation, and one man was saying something, and it really touched my heart. I heard him say, I feel so low in myself. Like now, you see the water there? I feel like just walking out and not coming back, just walk out into the ocean. I said, my God. Then he walked over to the counter of the bar, and I walked over and I said, can I talk to you for a minute? He said, yeah. So I asked him, I've been sitting next to the table, and I couldn't help hearing you. My mind and my heart and my ears went to you. And I hear you say this, and I just want to find what's happening with you, man. And he started to tell me the story about what happened, how he grew up, and he was without love from his parents, and all this. He never knew his father, and all of this type of thing. And he said that I always was a fighter. Everything I had to fight. I was always at fights in my school. And then one day I was just so tired of fighting. And I decided I'm not going to fight with anybody anymore. And I decided to be good, to try and be good. And I became very good. And I found a job and started to work and everything. But then inside came this woo, 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 something strong, like I was going to go crazy. And I met one American Buddhist. And he told me, why don't you start observing yourself more, observing your behavior, then take some distance. There's no distance in your life. And you need some distance to be healthy. You must be able to look at your thoughts. So he started to look at his thoughts. And then he told me, and then one day actually it became so, I was here again in Thailand, he said, and I was so in my mind, like woo, 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 and I was trying to control. No, I mustn't feel. Actually, he said, one day these thoughts started happening. And then he tried to remember what the American Buddhist man told him. Observe. And he tried to observe, and this feeling started to come. Woo, 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 woo. And he said, no, I cannot let go. And a voice inside him was saying, just let it be. Just let it happen. And he said, no, I can't let it happen, because if I let it happen, if I let where this observing is happening, if I allow it to happen, one of two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to go into a corner and I'm just going to be shaking until I disappear, I die. I felt like this. Or the next thing, I'm going to go around and I'm going to chop every person on the beach with a machete. I was going to go and kill everybody. That's what he felt. Can you imagine the intensity of feeling? So he said, I had to try and control. And inside I said, no, observe, detach, observe. And suddenly, ping, everything fell. What happened with him? All these people on the beach. Was it a bloodshed? No. He says, what happened is that amazingly, he became totally empty. Totally empty. And after this, full of love for everybody on the beach. I felt love for everyone. I wanted to hug them and say, I love you, you know. You are just the same like me. This is what come out. Sometimes at the point of the greatest discovery, greatest fear come. The greatest fear come. If you do this, you're sacrificing your whole life. Your whole life is going to slip away. You will never be the person you were anymore. You'll lose your friends, your family, nobody will want you. You'll be an outcast. You start to believe, you start to think these things. You say, oh no, I better not go. It's too risky. And again, the wheel turns of samsara. Because we are deeply suspicious of life. And this is not healthy. It is not healthy to be overly suspicious of life and to keep thinking, my mind, my mind. Actually, you create your mind. You create your mind way of functioning because you keep thinking, I have a dirty mind, a terrible mind. So, of course, your mind develops a lot of dirtiness. Homegrown. So, better leave it. Say, there's a force here, it can go to the left or to the right. But I am not left or right. Let me just stay where I am. Then which direction are you? Mind tell you must go left or right. But heart reminds you you're here. Why you have to go left or right? You're here. And somehow something acknowledges this wisdom, but I am just here. What is left or right for me? And the nightmare finishes right there. You choose. So these things are the things we contemplate here. This is the subject that is discussed here in satsang, and not discussed merely mentally or intellectually. It is more of an introspection, an exploration. You have to have a discoverer's attitude. It has to be something real for you. It has to be something that's very important for you. I must come home to me, my own self. Not my person, not personality, but to what is true. And this desire will burn every other desire and go in and close the door behind him. Thank you very much. Just like that. I've spoken all these words, but I am not all these words. Still, they come from me and they have something. They have a light in them, they have a power in them, they have a clue inside them. But this clue is not in any direction to tell you go, 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 go. It might tell you, come, stay, stay, leave, leave, stay. To go, you maybe need a ticket. To stay, you need no ticket. I eat my last biscuit and my last piece of cheese. And I can't keep my own promises anyway about these things. Are these biscuits made in Portugal, Maria's?
Yes.
My God. Hello, man.
I'm going to see you Friday.
Yes. Yes. We do it. What is it, Radha? We're going on Friday. Anything I need to take?
But I think it's important.
Yeah.
So she can feel it.
Yes.